AI agent. So this AI agent is what we call automation. So automation is the workflow where the AI runs automatically without being interfered. So you just set it up and it runs automatically. Then we have prompting. Prompting is where you give instruction to the LLM. And this instruction help the LLM or the model or the AI to work properly. So now, understanding the large language model. AI comes from the fact like it's a large language model. Large language model, let's break the word down into parts. A language model. A language model is a model that is made to understand human text. For example, you have what is your name? So that what is your name, that's why a large language model will to understand what the sentence is saying and be able to give you a response based on what the sentence says. So the aspect it comes with large means to say the model is trained on large set of data that come in with the whole idea of AI. So AI is like you take a data and you train the model. And then after finish training the model, you test the model and then get a response out of it. Example, you can take maybe a company database and then put it in. And then you ask, okay, from this, or maybe you take a book, from this book, what is, or summarize this book, or what is the major character of this book? The AI must be able to understand and be able to retrieve and give you a specific answer. But now we'll take it on the surface. So now, LLM, every LLM, there are two main type of LLM. The two main type of LLM are the Max LLM, which is the Max language model, and we got the autoregressive language model. The autoregressive language model is what led to it's the beginning of the whole chat prompting thing, or the beginning of AI. This is the model where it predicts the war based on the past wars. So it's like what is. Now, what's the probability when you use the word is? After is, what should come next? That's how AI thinks. So AI is, because they start from data science. From data science, we go up to machine learning. From machine learning, then we go to deep learning. From deep learning, before we come to generative AI, where we have ChatGPT, we have other DeepSeek, and from there, then we build up with other AI models. So next one, the fact like we took a large set of data, which is the Google data set. We took those data and we embed. Embedding means to say we convert those data into numbers. Convert it into numbers, and then after that, we use probability. So maybe based on the sequence of the data, or maybe we say, okay, you know what? Based on how people have been responding, what is the probability when you use the word what? Maybe we got what and we got what and we got cat and we got is. What's the distance between what to is and what to cat? You notice that there is a closer range from what to is than from what to cat. That's how the model be able to run through and predict the next war. But there came a problem because having to predict the next war, it does not always make the model perfect. Because there are times the model have to, for example, if you use a term like say, John is coming, let's just say we say John is coming from school. He is. The model have to understand that the he we're talking about is coming from John. So that came with Max language model, where the language be able to go back to the text and come in from. So it's a bidirectional thinking pattern. So you go back and then you come in front. And then you read the entire text and then be able to predict the next word. So now, that brings us to the next part, the foundation of every LLM, which is called a token. So a token is a subunit of a model. For a token can be whatever. It can be a word, it can be a punctuation, it can be a sentence, it can be a paragraph. This token helps the AI. For example, if you take the word maybe um, photosynthesis, photosynthesis can be broken down into various tokens. Like we can take the word photo, we get synthesis. So you got synthesis and we got a sys. So like that, the AI able to understand based on the the suffix, the root word, and the prefix. Then the AI able to, like for example, maybe you got a make-up word. The AI able to know what that word is based on just the tokenization. Now, the next term we'll look at there is context window. A context window, and this is one of the most important part of prompting. A context window is the maximum amount of text, or we say tokens, that a model can remember. Now, if you are chatting into ChatGPT and you tell ChatGPT, say, generate me 1,000 words on maybe a specific topic, you have to understand what is the context window of that model that you are using, because GTP comes with different kind of, they got different type of GTP. We got GTP 4, right now we got the latest GTP, which is GTP 5. So now, if you don't understand the context window of that GTP, the model tends to do something in AI we call hallucination. And what hallucination means to say the AI, because we have to remember that AI generating text is a statistics. That's why when you ask ChatGPT question twice, it gives you two different response. Even though the answers will be related, but the warnings will be different. So because of this probability, we understand that AI can randomly create things. So if you give the model or response, or you get a model something to do, if that model does not understand it, instead of it telling you, I don't know, it's going to generate something and give to you, which might not be true. That's what we call hallucination. The model is hallucinating. If anybody have worked with ChatGPT will understand that sometimes you ask ChatGPT questions and the model gives you something totally different. So that's how come to a context window. So now we have to understand every model, chat model. Right now we got multiple kinds of AI. What AI is good for what? Now we have to count. Now, generally, a large language model, sorry to use the terminology, when I refer to a large language model, I'm talking about the ChatGPT, the DeepSeek, the whatever it is, because everything is trained on a model. So those large language model, that's why because the word ChatGPT, the chat comes, so the GTP is, we call it generated pre-trained transformer. We will get there soon. That generated pre-trained transformer means to say it's a form of transformer that is pre-trained to generate information. That's how came the word ChatGPT. But ChatGPT is not the only kind of transformer we get, but it is the widely used kind of transformer that we have. So now, the strength of every model of AI model is great with text generation, and great with text content, summarization, but it also has its limitation. For example, hallucination is one of LLM mean a limitation where the model hallucinate. Aside from hallucination, we have language cut-off or knowledge cut-off. Knowledge cut-off is the process by which or AI, for example, maybe a data was upgraded. Like maybe we have 2022 data, but then you want a data from 2025, but the AI does not know the 2025 data. So instead of it giving you 2025 information, it gives you 2022 information. The dates are not the same. That's what we call language cut-off. As we go down deeper, we'll understand more on these terminologies. So now, in fact, let's come to the foundation of every prompting. Every prompt that you work with has 6 fundamental pillars. These 6 fundamental pillars come with clarity. Means to say, if you are giving an instruction to an AI, understand it as you give an instruction to a kid. You want this kid to go to Chaoyang and buy you something. You have to be very explicit and detailed of what you want so that this kid can walk to Chaoyang and just bring what you want. Example, if you take the word value, right? Value can mean anything. In economic, value means something different. In physics, value means something different. In finance, value is something different. It might mean something, or in English, value might have a different intuition. So now, you have to be clear. That comes with context. If you use the word value, what context of value are we talking about? Are we looking at value from a mathematical point of view? Are we looking at value from a physics point of view? So from what context are we using these words? And the specification. So you have to be specific, you have to be clear, and you have to come with a context. The next part is the role assignment. We talk about the word value, right? If you want to write or you want an AI to generate you maybe discussion on value, but you are an economist or maybe you are a finance person, you have to give the AI a role. That means to say, now you tell the AI, say, you are a financial expert. This clearly tell the AI, okay, you know what? We're working specifically in finance, not any other field, but finance. So now, any other question you ask concerning value within finance, once you say you are a financial expert, or maybe you are an economist, discussing the topic on value, then you say, what is a value? Whatever information that AI generates for you is going to be clearly related to that fee or that role that you gave. So the role, we call it the persona. The persona is like the AI is acting as a person. So maybe you can tell the AI whatever field of study you are in. Maybe you're a marketer, or maybe you're a salesperson, or maybe you are an engineer, or maybe you are an economist, or maybe you are doing a research, like people doing thesis. Maybe you want to write about something. So you tell the AI, say, okay, you know what? You are a thesis writer. Now, or maybe you are a master thesis writer on the topic finance. Can you write me this? The AI knows exactly what it's working with. You have to be clear with your instruction. The words and the terminology you use can confuse the model at times, which might lead to hallucination. You have to be clear. If you want to summarize, you say summarize. If you want to list, you say list. You want to discuss, you discuss. If you want, so you as a person have to understand the meaning of the word before using it. Now, you have to define the output. For example, do you want it in bullet points? Do you want it summarized in 100 words? Do you want to be generated maybe if you want it to be number? What structure do you want the AI to produce for you? And also you have to provide examples. So the constraint is the length of words that you are using. For example, you wanted to work in a specific format and you wanted to create boundaries. Maybe you're working with data over a month. So okay, maybe I want to know the fiscal budget for maybe China from December 25th to January 1st, or maybe from 2022 to 2025. There you give the AI a boundary and a constraint to work in. So we always have to remember the six pillars of a great prompt. One, you have to be clear about your idea. The next one, we have to create a rule. You have to give it a clear instruction. The output formats have to be specified, and you have to provide example and also the boundary. Now, the part of a prompt. Every prompt is divided into 8 main parts. The role, which is the persona. For example, you can tell an AI to be a financial analyst. The task, what do you want the thing to do? Summarize this report. The context, the background. For example, summarize this report, or maybe this report it came in from maybe we talk about maybe this is an African report, or maybe this is a European report, and this report was generated from this time. So you have to give the background context. You have to give the instruction. How do you want this thing to be done? A step by step. For example, I want you to do this first, do this next, and then do the next one. What kind of data are you using? Are you processing raw data, or maybe the kind of input data? Maybe it's a video, maybe it's an audio. How do you want it to work? Now, the output format. How do you want the AI to come out? Do you want it to have headlines? Do you want it to be blog? however way. Then the rules and the constraint. This is what we have the boundary. And then the evaluation. We also have to understand these 8 parts. First, we talk about the pillars of the prompt. Every prompt must have this functionality. And these are the core structures. So now we talk about the functionality, we talk about the structure. The next thing we'll be looking at is the classification of every prompt. Basically, for now, we will take the first. Basically, for now, we look at the first 7 kind of prompt. Right. Zero-shot prompting. Zero-shot prompting, we call it a direct form of prompt. Example, what is the capital city of China? Just all. Now the AI creates you a specific result. The capital city of China is Beijing. This is a zero-shot prompting. Or what is the weather today? Or when is it best to go out? Those are examples of zero-shot prompting. Now, is where you give the AI an example, and then you give it the next thing to do. Example, say, okay, you know what? I want you to summarize this text. And no, summarizing was not be the best way. So now, example, we want you to sentimental analysis. We want you to do a sentiment analysis based on this. We'll talk about what sentimental analysis is, how the mood and tone of something. But if this thing is positive or is it negative? Like when somebody chat or maybe somebody respond to your comment and the comment is negative, or is the comment neutral, or is the comment positive? So now we want the AI to do a few sharp prompting. So we say this battery lasts forever. This is a sentiment which is a positive statement. Now, based on this example, use this context to generate me the next context. So now it stopped working in a week. So now it stopped working in a week is negative. So now, based on the zero-shot prompting, based on the example from the first time, now the AI knows exactly what to do next. That's what we call few-shot prompting. So the next thing is role-based. The role-based is when you give the AI a persona to work on. Again. So now we can say, okay, Mr. AI, you are a cyber analyst, or maybe you're a marketing director, or maybe you can even take the idea as well. For example, maybe you're working on a thesis. You say you are a master or maybe a PhD Harvard thesis writer. Now you give the AI to look within Harvard data set to be able to generate you your ideas. Or maybe you can say, okay, the idea is up to you. Whatever field or study that you are using, the persona can be anything. Maybe you are working in theology. You can say, okay, you know what? You are a professional theology, or maybe you are a theologian with 6 years experience in this thing. Now you sharpen the AI to work properly for you. So now, explain what is phishing or phishing attack and so explain what is phishing attack. Based on the persona, then you give the tax. This is the tax. Explain what is this. Now, based on this tax, the AI respond to you as a financial expert. As a cybersecurity analyst. Without a persona, it's difficult for an AI to generate you the content you want based on your field. Because AI is probability. If you just say, what is value? You have to understand that value can be used anywhere. The AI does not know. So what the AI does is, it checks its database. It checks for the content of value that most people will likely ask for. So it knows if most people ask for value from a physics point of view or a mathematical point of view. So if you ask what is value, it will automatically give you a mathematical point of view value, because that's what it was built on. So if it doesn't give it any persona, it thinks that, okay, based on past data, what is the likelihood or what is more likely that people want to see? Then it gives you. But what if you are working in somewhere that is outside the place, or maybe that is outside the range of people. Like maybe you are doing a course, or maybe your work that you are doing is not something that most people know about. Now, when you're giving those kind of tags to AI, you have to give it a persona. So that is for role-based prompting. The next one is the instruction-based prompting. This is where you give an AI a step-by-step instruction. Example, summarize this paragraph in exactly one word. That's an instruction-based prompting. Or breakdown. I want you to do part 1 should be like this, part 2 should be like this, part 3 should be like this. That is an instruction-based prompting. So let's take it back slowly. We are talking about zero-shot prompting, which is a direct, straight-to-the-point prompt. We are talking about few-shot prompting, which is giving the AI an example to use. Now we talk about role-based prompting, which is giving a persona, which is a role, the AI to act in a specific direction. Now, we talk about instruction-based, where you have to break down the AI into parts, like give it step-by-step instruction of how it's supposed to run. Now, we come to chain of thought prompting. Chain of thought prompting is usually used for financial data and mathematical data. Example, this is a chain of thought. The reason it's called chain of thought means like, based on this thing, you have to break down this thing into steps. So a chain of thought prompting is a step-by-step prompt. Example can be a cafe sold 18 coffee before noon and twice as many after noon. How many did it sell? In order to answer this question, you have to create an algorithm. You have to understand the first part, and based on that first part will lead you to the next part, and the next part will lead you to the third part. So now the AI have to understand it step by step and give you the total answer. That's how chain of thought prompting works. We also got something called chain of graph prompting. So the chain of graph is where you break it down into trees and you separate. So okay, one tree will split and get the next tree. So now, another type of prompting we have is a structure output prompting. This one is for programming language or people that got idea to programming. This is, for example, maybe you gave a text, or you give it a text or a paragraph, and you want to extract a specific information. So now you want it to be extracted in a specific format. So maybe the name of the person we want, the role of so this is it, extract the name, the role, and the company from this text. You can extract it in a JSON format, a JSON, which is a JavaScript oriented notation. That's for programming. But I guess on this platform, we don't have a lot of programmers, so I try my possible best to be as non-technical as I can be. So this one, basically, you have to understand and extract information based on the context you give it. So, example, maybe I generate the entire stuff, and I want only maybe the invoice from this thing, or I want maybe the role or maybe the name of the person. That's structure output prompting. So now, this one, it has to do with engineering, which is a system user analysis prompt. So this kind of prompting is where, if we have heard about building, people that build their own chat box, we call that a RAG, which is a retrieval augmented generator. That RAG is like, maybe we take a component data, we embed the component data, and then we get the information out. But then maybe in the component data, we got sensitive information, and we don't want people getting it. Example can be used with ChatGPT. Like if you ask ChatGPT certain questions and say, okay, you know what? I want you to tell me how to rob. ChatGPT has been given an instruction to not give you idea for that. So that instruction is what we call system instruction or system prompting. So that prompt that you give the system in order. So now this person is asking for the internal person, or maybe the person wants to know the wholesale cost from your business. The AI is not allowed to give you those internal information. So now the AI will come up and tell you, okay, you know what? I cannot share those internal pricing with you because those are sensitive information. So now, Now we come to the structure output where we talk about the output. So this is what the programming language people, where we get a JSON prompting, we get a schema-based prompting, and the schema-based prompting is where we use the parser downstream validator, where you have to give it a structure of how it should be outputted. For example, you see from this data, we want a date, we want a name, and we want a summary. That is for that one. Now, the most talk about hallucination. What is hallucination? Why does a model hallucinate? When does a model hallucinate? And how can we stop this hallucination? Because a lot of people complain, oh, ChatGPT gave me answer that is not correct. ChatGPT is generating things I didn't ask for. For example, you say ChatGPT do A. If you do it get done doing the A, now you want ChatGPT to do B based on A, then it do C. You didn't ask it to do C. The problem is not the model. The problem is the prompting. That's why we are here. How can we work on those things? How can we fix our prompting that next time we will reach to a large language model, whatever AI that we're using, we can be able to talk to this AI properly and be able to extract information from there better. Because hallucination is a very critical part you need. Imagine you are working with a financial data and a model hallucinate. Trust me, you already lost a lot. Because you cannot hallucinate on maybe you are using hospital data and the model hallucinate. It will cost the company a loss. You lose money, you lose time, you even lose your position because of this hallucination. So now, in order to avoid or reduce the model for hallucinating, you have to provide the proper prompt. Today we will learn, we're not just doing the theoretical part. From there, we're going to open ChatGPT itself and we're going to work in it with real life prompting and we see how the model works. So now, we have to provide a better context. We have to admit its uncertainty. We have to give it a source-based answer. And we have to understand, like maybe we have to give it a red. The word RAG, what we talk about is we call it retrieval augmented generator or generation. That's where you can embed because ChatGPT, how does an AI model be able to generate text? It goes through series of processes. Those processes include one, take the text, convert the text to token. That's the first step. The text is converted to token. The token is now converted to imbalance. What is imbalance? Imbalance is the mathematical representation of a token. Now, for example, we get the word, every model has its way of imbalance. Maybe we get the word cat should have a specific number which is 78. Or maybe we got dog which is 10. So now, with those numbers after the imbalance, when we embed, we take it to vector. So we embed and convert it into a vector. If you have done mathematics, a vector is like a representation of a number, sequence representation of a number. So we take those vectors, and then the next thing we do from the vector, we do the similarity search. So now, in the similarity search now, if we take the one what, the next token is, with the one what, which is interrogative pronoun, what will come after that what? What is the probability that after what we will get is, or after what we will get cat? So the distance between what to is, maybe is maybe 10, and maybe what is maybe 20. And then maybe from 20 to 10, because the model got a way of thinking, everything works in mathematics. So from what to is, what's the distance? Based on the probability that most people use. So what is what is close is closer to what than cat. So you cannot say what cat, or maybe you can not say what's coming. So what to is closer to coming. So what is coming? That's how the AI be able to structure a sentence. Mind you, we talk about large language model being divided into two parts. We get the math, we get the auto regression. Auto regression is where we get the next token generation. The max language model is where the model be able to generate based on the front of the text and the back. So the model do a front reading and a back reading, and based on that, it be able to do. So now, another thing that causes hallucination is the context window. A model be able to generate the specific text or specific amount of text that a model is supposed to generate time. If you go outside that context, the model will hallucinate. Example, you cannot tell ChatGPT to generate you 50,000 words or something. It's outside the window. It might generate you the 50,000 words, but it will generate you 50,000 nonsense. That's the problem. But that's why we need prompting. So prompting is not just only the cause of hallucination. Proper prompting can cause hallucination. That's all that which we know. But also, the context window also causes hallucination. Another example is we call them vanishing gradient. That's a programming terminology. In vanishing gradient is where you get a chat box and you start chatting and the chat has reached 10 steps. The AI tend to forget where it started. And you keep going down, the AI tend to forget what you started with. So the AI tend to lose focus on the conversation that you started. It's like we're sitting having a conversation. And then you have spoke for over an hour. And then you ask me, Alex, what did I say first? I don't remember. Because you have said a lot of things. So I don't even remember the beginning part of it. How do we solve those problems? Context window. You have to understand what, in a model, what is the maximum context each chat box can remember. Another thing is maybe you're doing mathematical. Anything that have to do with math calculation, it burns a lot. So prompting helps you, one, to avoid hallucination. Two, another great thing that prompting help you to do is pause. Because each time a model generate a text, it's taken away from your billings. So as the models tend to generate tokens, the more tokens a model generate is the more the AI thing. And the more the AI thing is the more costly it becomes. So if you just give the AI anything to do, it's gonna generate you a lot of things that are not even necessary. Then you tend to lose tokens. So unnecessary tokens lead to unnecessary money. So that's why prompting is important. Now, some powerful prompt. So we got different format. This is where you go to advanced prompting. Where you get the role, we get the task, we got the format. We got the context, we got the role, we got the action, we got the format, we got the tune. We got the role, we got the instruction, we got the steps, we got the end goal, we got the narrate. We got the code start, which we have the context, the objective, the start, the tune, the audience, and the response. So now let's look at some of the example. Example of RTF prompting, where you get the role, the task, and the format. Now you are a B2B SEO developer at an SaaS company. Now, a business-to-business SEO developer, the AI knows, you know what? We're sitting in a business company now. The person that is sitting here talking to you right now from this AI is a B2B SEO management or manager. Now, what do you want me to do? I want you to write me an email to the CFO introducing the Expand automation tools. I want you to write me 80 words. Be friendly, give it the tune. Be friendly and clear to your action. Now the AI knows how to work. Simple. So based on what text you have to do, that's how you give it the prompt. Now, this is when you go in detail, where you get the context, we get the role, we get the action, we get the format, and we got the tune. So going down also, we got the next step of prompting. Well, we have the financial, we got the role, we give it the instruction, we have the step-by-step and the end goal. I will send the PPT so you also can be able to have the time to go through some of them. For now, let's stop here and let's move into the practical case of AI prompting. So now, let's move to maybe ChatGPT or Claude or maybe DeepSeek or whatever it is. So let's come to ChatGPT. Now, with ChatGPT, let's try to work on some of what we have learned. Thing I would say to you is whenever you are ready to shift idea, or maybe you notice that you are chatting in a specific chat box and you have chatted a long time and the AI tend to lose focus, what you can do is create a new chat. But first of all, you have to check, are you using the free version of ChatGPT or are you using the paid version? If you are using a free version of ChatGPT, you should understand that it does not generate the tokenization for ChatGPT. Free is less based on the tokenization of ChatGPT. So if you are using the free version, you understand that you are already open to hallucination, a lot of hallucination. So you have to understand it from there. So now in ChatGPT, if we just say maybe what is value, what we are talking about. Now, value is important.
Brother Alex,
Yes,
I
yes.
think we can't see your screen anymore. It's frozen. It's frozen on the slide. I think you moved
Okay.
to the ChatGPT, right? But we can't
I
see
think I
that.
think yeah, I need to switch it. I need to switch it.
All right.
Let me switch to GTP. Yes, this one. Is it there?
Yes, yes, we can see it now.
Yeah. So now, you see, if we talk about the word, if we talk about the word value, so value means importance, usefulness, and worth of something. But that is not the definition of value in physics. So AI gave you the definition of value based on so for now this model it gives you based on different contexts. So now let's try to give it a step-by-step prompting. So now let's say you are a mate. One second. You are a math one second. One keyboard, please. You are a mathematician. Okay, you are a mathematician, right? Your role is to define value. Now, very good. You see, from a mathematical point of view, value is a specific number. But from up here, what we see here, it says value is for worth. It's important. So you see, based on the context, the language start to change. So now you see in the Apple, AI start to give you something different. If you take it from a financial point of view, it's different, right? So let's just say you are an financial system. What is value? You see, based on this context, they are using the same word value. As you tend to move from one context to the next context, such You see, we did not create a value here. This is where we gave a zero sharp prompting. We just tell the AI what is value. Now, the AI gives you value based on importance and usefulness. We're still using the same word. If we come to math, AI gave us something different about value. If we come to finance, AI also gives you something different from value. So based on, that's why you see prompting is important. So based on the exact prompting, it gives you the exact context that you want to use. So now we already use what is value from there. So now let's try to do another one and say discuss the importance of, let's say, money. Right. This is broad. What perspective do you want to come in? So now we can give it a persona. Maybe you are looking at money from an investment point of view. So you are an investor, or maybe you are entrepreneur. What is the importance of money? Or you are a business person, or you are, let's just say, a business expert, or you are an engineer. So based on different persona, the idea of money tends to differentiate. So it gets different. So if we tell this AI, say, discuss the importance of money. Now, let's give it a persona. You are a, let's say, business. You are a business expert. Now, your role is to discuss the importance of money. So let's break it down into parts. This is, as we said, this is the role. This is the tax. Now, you can give it an instruction. Another thing I want to bring to your attention is how do you highlight in GDP? So, hash means to say it's a subtitle. So, based on the amount of hashes you use, so from programming language, if you use 5 hashes, means to say the heading is a little small, which is a very small heading. As you reduce, the heading tends to increase. As you reduce and increase, as you reduce and increase. Right. So now, another thing that the AI can do here is it tends to focus on the wrong thing. Like sometimes maybe you're giving too many things, discuss money, book, and chair. The AI tend to give preference to one and leave the rest. So what you can do is what year you want to give preference to. We use double as style. Means to say, this double as style means to say, I want this thing to be in bold letter. Bold letter means to say, this is where the emphasis is placed. So I want you to discuss the importance of money. So I want to give the format, right? In the format, I want one. I want you to, in the format, I want you to first one. So perform the following format. So in this format, I can get one, first give a general overview. So after giving a general overview, I want you to give a bullet point, of 5 examples. Now, the next thing we come to that we need to understand from there okay. So now you see, it gave the general overview. It highlights money because this is where we come into. So now it comes to the 5 points. So it gave a bullet point. You see how exact this is? It didn't do anything else for me. It just gave me exactly what I asked for. What did I ask for? I asked for, first of all, you are a business expert, which is the persona I gave it. I gave you a task, the importance of money, which is money should be highlighted. Then I told it perform the following task. Give it a general overview. First, do the general overview of it. Next, and give a bullet point. Another important thing we can do with this thing is to add a constraint. So let's try to edit. So we can say generate maybe 500 words. But in the words that you are giving, you have to be careful because as you increase the word, then you open the AI to hallucination. So if you want to give 500 words, then maybe you can split it and say, okay, 200 words for this part and 200 words for the next part. You can easily do it from here. You can open a parenthesis and say, in asterisk, you can say maybe 200. From here, we can say 200 words. Close the asterisk. And then in the example, we can open from here and say maybe 300 words from here. Otherwise, it should be doing. Now, focus from here. The word count from here is approximately 500 words. Right? So 500 words from here. And then we get the 5 examples. You see, as we tend to increase the word, now it tends to improve. So now, the next thing that people can have problem with, I want to extend the idea from above below. How do I do? I can say extend. One thing, extend the above from. Let's tell the AI now, okay, from the above, we extending. So I want to add and say, after finish extending, in the extension, you can change your persona. Maybe you wanted to think from a different point of view, but it should extend and it should run the same logic from the top to the bottom. So now I can tell it extend the above, extend the above prompt. And let's just say the benefit benefits of money and send. So now, from here, we have, this one send us the format from here. Where you are a business expert, your role is the importance of this. Do the general overview, the amount of work you need to do, and the conclusion. So it gives you the benefit. So it upgraded the prompt for you, and it gives you the benefit. So all you need to do is just say, run the prompt from above. So now it gives you the full detail of what you asked for. The importance and the benefit. Like this, you don't have to be asking the AI too many questions. So it gave you the 5 benefit based on the what, then it comes down to give you benefit, and then it added a conclusion for you. But if you didn't ask for a conclusion, example, so another place that you can have problem with is you have already generated this text, right? But the problem is I want to only remove the conclusion aspect and maintain the rest of the word. Most of the time we understand that while doing it, the first part will get damaged, or maybe it will change the aspect. So now you can do that by this way. So we tell the AI to maintain all the content and not remove anything, but only remove the conclusion. Now, maintain all content, or I can say do not change. Instead of using the word remove, I use the word change. Do not change anything or add anything. Now, I can highlight this part that I want it to do. Only remove the conclusion instead. What it's supposed to do is generate you the same exact content you have and remove only the concluding part. That's why it did. It removed only the concluding part of it. So it kept the exact same content you get from there, and it removed only. So this type of prompting help you when you're working with data that is already made. Maybe you have a thesis and you just want to edit something quick. But then when you try to edit, then the entire work tends to spoil. So that's how you have to understand. What I was telling you about, you see this part on this side? This is how the AI tend to extend. The more this part of this thing increase, the more the AI tend to forget the beginning of the conversation. So you have to be careful. So you have to be very careful how you use. So as the chat box start to extend, most especially in the AI is solving critical problem. As it tend to extend, then the model tend to lose focus and it tend to forget. Another problem can be you giving the AI too many things to do. In the same chat box, we have discussed physics, we have discussed math, now we're doing business. Too many ideas. The AI tend to forget. One chat box for a specific problem. If we are talking about business, we discuss business in one chat box. If we want to talk about engineering, we open a new chat box and discuss engineering because there are two unrelated explanations from there. So with that, I'm almost done. So let me get back to the PPT. So we have seen more example. So back to the PPT. So here's some mistakes. How do we avoid common mistakes, right? We have to avoid vacuum instructions where the AI tell you when you're giving too many message instructions. The output, no output and format, right? Instead, maybe you want something done in a table format. You have to give a description of how you want a table to be. How you want it to be numbered. Do you want bullet point? Do you want numbers? Do you want this part to be bold or do you want the next part to be a specific way? Maybe you wanted to have a specific color. You have to be explicit. If you tell someone, I need you to go to the market and buy food, you have to give a direct description of what you want. But if the person going to buy what they feel like buying, then we should create a product. So with that being said, I think we have covered a lot. The next time we have the next session where we have to talk about AI, we're going to talk about the different kind of models. ChatGPT, what is it used for? DeepSeek, Perplexity, all these different kind of AI model that we have heard about. What is it meant for? Another thing I will help, we want to clarify is when we talk about there are new terminology growing every day when we get AI agent. AI agent is like an AI assistant that helps you do work and be able to do one or two things for you. So with that being said, I think will have to conclude here. But in the conclusion, 1 second, I have a gift that we share in a group chat. But let me show you what is in it first. Okay. So this is the gift that I will be sharing. This is a prompt, very professional prompt structure of 50 different prompt structure from different perspectives. This one, if you are into sales or maybe you're into, so this is a table of content. We have marketing prompt, we have production prompt, we have people that are doing programming, people that are writing, doing businesses, sales, hiring, doing legal compliance, research analysis, personal development. This is exactly what you want. So for this marketing prompt, you have a prompt example. All you need to do is just copy and paste, or maybe you learn the 20 years experience in launching product across B2B and B2C market. You specialize in data-driven market-to-market strategy. You give the AI a full idea of how it should work. And then you have to give it. So now we can, from this thing, we can learn the structure that we have learned. So this is the role, this is the task, or maybe the audience we are working with. So now, this is the step-by-step instruction, right? And this is the format that we need. This is another one. Maybe you're doing a social media content generator. So I have over 50 different prompts that can help you build your AI profession and helps you with better prompting. So I mean, I'm available at any time, whatever question you need to ask concerning AI, concerning prompt engineering. By the way, I didn't mention before, I'm a student of Beijing Technology and Business University studying big data science and AI engineering. So I'm open up to answer any question that I have to do with AI and anything. So for now, I will turn the floor over to the question and answers. So maybe anybody have any question or any misunderstanding? Maybe I was too fast because I wanted to cover up everything I had within the specific time that was given to me. So maybe you didn't understand something as I was talking, you have the floor to ask question. Anybody with any question?
Yes, please. First of all, thank you so much for this wonderful presentation. Yeah, it was really insightful, and I've learned a lot from this presentation. Yeah, so I'm gonna start it off, and yeah, so I did have a question before, but I think you answered that, because in the beginning you're talking about hallucination, but I think you already answered that, so that's okay. Yeah, but my question is, I wanted to ask to say, because now we're hearing about these. You talked about AI agents, but then also we're hearing about these like custom GPTs. To say maybe there's like a GPT like for financial analysis, there's a GPT for maybe essay writing and all of these things. So would you say that if you're using a custom GPT, does that mean that you wouldn't have to prompt it as you would here, or do you still have to go through that kind of giving it that role and all of that when you're using the custom GPTs? And would you say that using it is better than just using, say, the free general chat GPT or Claude or Gemini? What would you say on that?
First of all, you have to understand like the general chat GPT is made for every answers and question. It's like you sitting down in front of Sir Isaac Newton that knows everything. But he won't give you specific idea. Matter of fact, without prompting, without proper structure prompting, you won't get the authentic answer that you want. But if you are using a custom made stuff, it have already been engineered. For example, maybe you're using a financial agent. It have been engineered in the prompt, right? The programmer that built that system have prompted towards financial data only. So whether you know about prompting or not, it will give you authentic answer based on, for example, if you just ask for value in that financial agent, it will give you exactly based on the financial aspect because it's already in a financial era compared to the general chat GTP. Yes, I think I got a couple of agents that I've built because right now I'm building AI agents. If we have the time, I can show you the workflow. I've built a lot of AI agents. I've built agents that do research, agents that can write you theses, agents for anything like content generation, where you can generate a content. At the end of the question and answer, I'm going to do a slideshow of what I've done, and then you see in action. But to conclude on that answer, is it depends on what do you want. If you have a financial agent or maybe a custom GTP for finance and you're working with finance, my advice is work with that custom GTP because it will give you more authentic answer based on the open source model. But yes, the thing you have to understand, and this is one thing I want everyone to know, is the GTP is, for example, we got something called transfer learning. I can take a large language model and I can fine tune it. The word fine tune means to say I can put it in a context. It can take that whole LLM and extract only the part that is responsible for finance and I fine tune the accuracy and make it sharp. So that anything that works in here that is related to finance, it will give you a better answer compared to the general chat box. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes, you have. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've got it. So what you're saying is that using the custom GTPs is better than using the general one for the specific thing that you want to do. Thank you for that. Maybe I can ask one more question before maybe the other people come in. There's something that I heard about prompting that, and I think I didn't hear you mention it, but I was just curious if it's true or it works or not. I heard that when you're prompting also, uh, like if you like present, maybe like you're prompting it the best way that you're doing the you're using the frameworks that you gave, but then it's not giving you the answers that you want. They say that try threatening it, like I'm going to like do something to you, or something like that. Like when you threaten it, it somehow produces better answers.
Okay.
Or when you maybe
Okay.
try and present like maybe, okay, this is a life and death situation, if I don't do this I'm going to lose my job, like presenting those kind of high stakes things. Does that actually work? Maybe based on your expertise or what you know about it, do those things actually help you produce better answers?
It works. It works to some extent because if you give her an emergency prompt, it tends to give you an answer. But those are bypassing the rules of the GTP model, which is malpractice when it comes to modeling. You have to work with the proper structure of prompting. But right now, as the model tends to improve, you won't be able to do such thing. Like now, if you we are working now with GTP 5, when you try to do those things, it doesn't work. If you think I'm lying, we can try an example here. It doesn't work out. Matter of fact, the model tend to present an answer to you and tell you, you know what, I'm very kind with you. I cannot do this based on this. For example, maybe you asking for something against the policy rule of ChatGTP. It cannot, whatever you do, it cannot give you the response. Maybe you want to know how to hack someone's computer, or maybe how to kill somebody. Whatever word you tell ChatGTP is not going to tell you how to do it. But if you try to tweak it to get it out to get you that answer, then we call it's malpractice, which is not good. You go against the policy rule. So I will say no. All you need is the correct prompt. Once you can get a prompt better, you don't need to threaten. Is your answer? Did I answer your question?
Yes, very much so. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Okay, thank you so much, Brother Alex, for the insightful, presentation. Right. My question is, if I am lazy and I want to publish a paper, right? I see using AI to be helpful, but sometimes there are AI detections that probably I may not be qualified to be able to, publish my papers. Uh, as 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 somebody who wants stress-free life, how can I use this AI that will help me and also not to let my paper be rejected?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are you done? Are you done with
Yes,
the question? Okay. So the first thing you can do, we call it bulletin prompting. You can generate
I think
a
your voice is low
written.
now.
Are you hearing me now? Am I clear?
Not clearly. I don't know if it's only from my end.
No, actually, yeah, it's his voice is getting a bit low. I don't know if you're using headsets and they've moved a bit or
I'm not using earphone. It's just open. Am I clear?
it's still a bit low.
Really? Okay now.
Still low. No, it's still very low. Lower even.
It gets lower. Oh, I don't know how to
Okay,
do
okay,
it.
yeah, it's back now. Yeah.
It's back. It's normal, right?
Yes, now it's okay.
Okay. Now, even the Grammarly or the AI detection, you can use ChatGPT. Once you know proper prompting, you can use ChatGPT to audit your work. So now, how do we prompt it to do that? Example, what are the specific things you want the AI to reflect? You want plagiarism, one, right? You want AI detection, two, you want hallucination, three, you want the citation to be authentic, right? Those are a couple of things that people that do research will check in your work. They want the how coherent is the work, if the work is structured. If you are prompting to the AI, first of all, you tell it like, okay, you are a thesis, or maybe you can say, okay, you are a professor at Harvard, quality this thesis, right? Or maybe you are a business, or maybe a master degree, quality or master degree thesis. Now, what do you want the AI to reflect? I want you to check the plagiarism. I want you to check the AI. I want you to critique the work. I want you to check the certification when it comes to the citation. Now, you give the AI tweaks and you let it run. Now, chances are it will generate you from there and it will give you a recommendation. But it depends on what model of ChatGPT you are using. If you are using the free version, it's going to give you on the surface. If you are using the paid version, it's going to give you a more detailed explanation on that. Did I answer the question?
Okay, so to my best of knowledge, it
No.
means that it all depends on what you input for the AI to do.
Yes,
Is that correct? No,
yeah,
okay. And
yes,
and
yes.
and by
So
doing that,
you
mhm.
first put yourself, get done first, get done.
No, I mean, so by putting all these inputs, are you saying the result that is going to come out still is not going to have any issue, whereby you've put in, oh, maybe let this research check plagiarism, let it check AI detection, and if the result that is going to come out, are you saying that that one is going to be safe?
If the AI, no, what it will do for you is going to check the work, but it's not going to change the content of the work. It's just auditing the work. It will audit the work and give you recommendation of how to improve it. Because you are not you are just auditing the work. You are not editing the work. So, example, you can give an AI a thesis, a full thesis, and say, based on this thesis, I want you to check. So in that thesis, you put yourself in the atmosphere of the professor speaking. As a professor, what do you think when you check up in the work? You ask the AI to check for you. The AI is going to check for you and it's going to tell you where your flaw is and tell you how to improve it. It's not going to solve it for you. If you want the AI to solve it for you, you have to be careful with the prompt because it might hallucinate in the work. And things that weren't there, it will put there, and things that were there, it will take from there. So if you are not good at prompting, then it's better you just take the recommendation and manually do it. Did I answer?
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, I get it. Thank you.
No problem. Any other question?
Yeah, thanks, Brother Alex. I think that's a very interesting topic that you addressed, on prompting. I think, of course, I think for me, it's more in terms of how best we can reduce bias towards the outcomes. I mean, of course, I mean, maybe the other issues to do with the different platforms that we use, whether I'm using ChatGPT or Gemini and stuff. How best do you think we should use these prompts on the different platforms to reduce the aspect on bias?
The structure remains the same for every LLM. Whether you are using ChatGPT, you are using Perplexity, once it's an open source model, the structure remains the same. It's not only for chat, it's for every LLM platform. The structure of the prompt remains the same. The prompt engineering is not just for ChatGPT. So you can use the structure whether you are using Gemini, you are using Perplexity, whether you are using Claude, you are using DeepSeek, you are using Quinn. The structure remains the same.
But how do I mitigate against bias?
How do you do it against bias? First of all, you have to understand what is the LLM. You have to understand the source of the for example, if you're using ChatGPT, what is ChatGPT good at? If you are using Gemini, it's mostly for image generation. Images, that's where AI is a leverage. Image, video, that's where you have his leverage. So if you go to Gemini and you start to bring thesis writing in it, it's going to generate you, even when the prompt is very authentic, it's going to generate you something far from reality. That's why first you have to understand what is, when you're using ChatGPT, ChatGPT has its limitation. There are certain things it doesn't do. It doesn't do everything. ChatGPT does not generate videos for you. It just generates you images. So if you want a video generator, you have to go to Gemini. So it depends on what tags you have to do. Like when you go to DeepSeek, DeepSeek does not generate image for you. DeepSeek does not generate PPT. It does not generate, most especially the free version. It does not generate a PDF for you. It's going to generate you the content, but not the PDF. So based on different model, it has different usage. So when it comes to bias, you have to do what do you want and where can you go. It's like buying from on the Chinese website. It's like every website, even though Pinduoduo has its 1688, this other one, but when it comes to cheaper, very cheaper things, we rather go to maybe 1688 because there's a wholesale place. But it doesn't mean that what you find in 1688, you can find in Pinduoduo, but you can find Pinduoduo, but not at the same price. Even not at the same quantity. Did I answer?
Oh, thank you. That's very helpful.
Okay. Any other question, please? Is there anybody else with a question?
Yeah, now let me go a little, maybe off topic, right? Because now we are seeing AI to be the order of the day, right? In the aspect
Yes.
of investing, right? Or less in the aspect of, wealth creation in the AI environment, right? What are your views on it? And how are you seeing the AI in existence do you think it's going to still continue, or there's going to be a time that this AI is going to turn into something else? But my main focus is in terms of, this stocks buying, this investing. Which area are you seeing it moving more faster, or which area do you see it more fulfilling? That, oh, probably in the direction of this aspect, we should focus more on. And also in terms of education, right? Let's say you have a little sister, you have a baby, you have a child, and now you want to shape this child because I learned that there are some courses in China that they have even scrapped it off from the universities. There are some programs that the Chinese government has even scrapped it off from the universities because they see it as not to be relevant, right? So moving forward in the AI environment, right? So one, which area do you think is more investing? And two, which area do you think we should focus on? We should spend more time on, or we should also educate our brothers and sisters that if they want to take any career, right, they should look at this area because that is the order of the day, right? So these are my two questions that probably if you have any knowledge in, you can let us know. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. Silent to say, I would say this: there are a lot of jobs that is going to get off the market. Is when the industrial revolution started and people was replaced by machine. It was very hard to accept at the moment. But as time went by, people came into existence and people live. AI is going to take up certain jobs, but it's also going to bring in new jobs. And right now, prompt engineering was not something that we were thinking about years ago. Now, prompt engineering has become the order of the day. So it introduced new stuff. Now, when it comes to education, one thing I can tell anybody, whatever major are you studying, you have to understand AI, wherever you are. Because I do AI engineering, the amount of things that I can do with AI, my entire computer is prompted with its AI set. Even in my PPT slide, like let me get back to my PPT slide. Even in my PPT slide, I have Claude installed, and I can tell Claude to do whatever I want. This is my PPT slide, so I can do command alternate into C. I can tell Claude to do whatever I wanted to do. That's basically within my chat box. Matter of fact, this entire PPT that I'm using was generated with AI. So in the educational sector, one thing I can say to anybody is AI has its pros and its cons. The pros is it makes work easier, but there's a disadvantage that comes with it. It makes you lazy. So it's up to you what you want AI to do for you and what you want to do for yourself. Because the more dependent you are with AI, it takes the ability away from you. It makes you, that's why from this generation upward, every report says from most of this Chinese university, 90% of the students that are generating thesis are AI generated. Why? Because people don't have the time to think again. When it comes to the job market, I can tell you for sure, jobs like maybe teller, maybe data analyst, those things are not necessary. Once you know how to use AI, you can do everything. You can even run it by yourself. You don't even need anybody. So going to summarize it on the question, what do you pay attention? Everything that you do, every field of study, you have to learn prompt engineering. Understand how this LLM works, which one to use at what time. It will save you a lot of time because right now companies are after how timely you can work, how efficient and accurate your work is. So a person that back then people could use spreadsheet of 100,000 data. It takes you 8 hours to maybe analyze. Today AI can do it in just 10 minutes. It saves you a lot of time and makes you a lot of money. So AI is not going to take people out of the market. It's going to take people that don't know AI off the market. Did I answer?
So brother
Okay,
Alex,
so
Yeah, someone was saying.
yeah, Mr. Jerry, please go ahead.
thank you, Pastor Ben. You know, brother Alex, my question then is, how do we actually embed it in terms of everything that we do in life? I mean, be it students who are doing their research, be it, you know, even high school kids who are coming up, and also be it people who are in the workplace. What is the best way to actually embed AI and also prompt engineering? Exactly your point that I think the future is that we have to learn to live with it. So, what is the
You
best
have
way
to,
to embed that?
whether you like or not, you have to survive on it. Yeah, so the best thing I can say to you is, first of all, let me give you the trend that is happening. Started from machine learning, started from data analysis first. We went to predictive analysis. Now we went to machine learning. For machine learning, we went to generative AI, which is chatbox. Right now, we are on agentic AI. The next AI we are going to is embedded AI. That's the AI that is like a human now. That AI is like, it can be a personal assistant. It talks, understand your language, speak to you. It can be even an emotional assistant for you. So coming up with little kids, they have, because right now there are laws and contracts that are being signed with AI. What it should do and what it shouldn't do. Because it has to be in check. Most countries are now putting AI laws into practice. Because AI report, people have used AI for most especially the hackers have used AI for a lot of things. People can use voice agent to sound exactly like you. I can take your phone calls, maybe over 40 calls from your phone, over 6 hour calls, and I can build it on an AI. And this AI can sound exactly like you. No difference. So imagine that kind of technology in the hands of the wrong person. It's going to be bad. So right now, China has signed a law that every kid now from kindergarten has to go through the AI phase. The curriculum has been changed. So the Western world is taking action on the AI field. Now, the little kids that are coming out are being trained with AI. So in order to not be left out, you have to be up to game. I'm making point. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think I'm completely on board. Yeah, but I guess maybe, I mean, I'm talking maybe from a practical perspective. Of course, we try to promote, you know, AI. We try to promote, you know, the whole issue around prompt engineering. But I guess maybe the big challenge is in terms of course, people. I mean, you guys are good because you're still in school now. I'm hoping that this is part of the curricula. You guys are sort of
Yeah.
equipped in terms of using all these tools, you know, in terms of the work that you do, the assignments, the research. But the big challenge I face is the guys who are in employment right now. You know, like I said, it's basic stuff. I saw your list on the prompts. I think it's a very good one. I would want to share it with some of my colleagues. You know, it's
Yeah.
simple
I'm going
things
to
like
send you the prompt and I'm going to send the PPT.
I would appreciate definitely. I think it
I'm
helps
going
in
to send
terms
in the
of
group chat, the prompt and the
those
PPT.
those
Both.
customized prompts. I think they're very, very useful in terms of just
Yeah.
helping people navigate. I think they're very, very useful. Yeah, no, that's helpful. Thank you so much.
No problem. Any other question?
Yeah, so finally, some of us who are already with PA, where do we start
Yes,
from?
please. It
Some of us
seems
that
mine
were not
hasn't been
privileged.
attended to.
Somebody's talking.
Hello.
Listen,
Can
what you
I
saying?
be heard?
You breaking.
Yeah, Mama. About the use of AI in trading.
whatever
Hello,
in trading.
can I
Yes,
be
I'm
heard?
getting you. Yes, you are heard. You are heard.
Yes, like you write a prompt that to prompt to ChatGPT or Claude or whichever LLM has, higher coding capabilities. I have $200 here in Beijing. Which way can I double it to 1,000 or something like that? Are these things ethical? Can it be done? How is it done? Things like that.
Yes. Example can be you have $200, right? What perspective do
Yeah.
you want to enlarge the money? Are you coming from an entrepreneur perspective or are you going to what's a business perspective? You
Maybe.
can tell that ChatGPT, I have $200 and as an entrepreneur, how can I invest or where can I invest into this money? It's going to give you suggestions that you can,
Okay.
based on your location. So you have to give it a setting. You have to give it a context. That's what we talk about the context. You have to give it a background. Okay, I'm a student in China and I want to start a business with 500 RMB. Where do you think I can invest? Or where do you want to do the business? Is it in China? Who are your audience? Do you want to do it with students? Do you want to do it with companies? Do you want to do it with Africa? You give it the ideas. So based on the structure, it be able to generate you authentic information. And it works.
Okay. Take that into account.
Yeah, you just have to give it a structured prompt. Like you have to give it example. It's like you sitting with Pastor Ben and telling him, Pastor Ben, I have $200. I want to invest into something. Before Pastor Ben gave you an answer, he have to ask you, where do you want to invest? How do you want to invest? Or what's your idea? So maybe those answers you will give Pastor Ben gave him a clear picture of how he can guide you, towards investing the money. So first of all, tell the AI maybe you want to do as an entrepreneur. You're an entrepreneur studying in Beijing, or maybe you're a master student. Give it a background of you. Yeah, I'm a master student studying in Beijing. I want to start a business back home in Africa. I want to do in this part. Or maybe give me a suggestion. Where can I invest my money based on this and this and this and this and this? And see what they do. But one thing I can say to you is whenever a LLM generates you a response, you have to read it so that you know that whether the information is authentic or not. That's the problem people are facing because as people tend to rely more on AI, you tend to forget what is real. So people don't even know the difference between the actual truth and the lies. That's how you have to be both sides. You have to understand it. That's why before you even working with AI, like you cannot tell AI to build you a website when you're not a programmer. Because programming, building website, it will generate you a website. But it's like generating you a house without a solid foundation. Sooner or later, it's going to break up because it's going to be easier to hack. You don't even know the terminology for technology. You don't know. So the prompt engineering will help you more based on your field of study because you know the language of what you want. Like when you're talking as for me, I'm an engineering and an AI student. If I'm talking to an AI, I use my terminology. Then we understand it's like we're talking engineering to engineer. If you're a business person, you use your business terminology. Then you understand as a business to business person. If the AI is lying, you're gonna know. So your logic or your field of study is necessary because you won't even know if I'm leave from here and go to maybe theology and say, okay, generate me this thing based on theology. I've never read a theology book before. I don't even know if what it's saying is true or lie. That's the problem. That's why prompting is necessary, but your idea towards the subject should be important. That's how you know the difference whether AI is lying or not. Is there any more questions?
Yes, I think Pastor Ben was asking a question before. Maybe he could finish it. Also because of the
Yes,
time.
Pastor Ben was on the floor. Sorry for the interruption, Pastor Ben.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. So I was just saying that, some of us who have the gray hairs who are out of,
Technology.
yeah, where do we start with the AI? You know, Because many a times you realize that it's a knowledge and a skill that you need to acquire, right? And where do we start, right? Where do we start from? And the last part is, you're in the media, right? As a church,
Yes.
how can we incorporate AI in our service, in AI in church to glorify God? We believe that AI is not satanic,
No,
it is
AI can,
something that
you
has
can
come in
generate for
our
Bible
generation.
study. Yes. AI is like a pen. It
Yeah,
depends
so
on what you want to do with
these are
it.
my two questions.
But before I
So
answer
these
your
are my
question,
two
Pastor Ben,
questions.
there's
One,
yes, before I answer your
mhm,
question, there's one thing I want to say first. There's a rule with AI. Anything that you're able to do manually, don't allow AI to do it. AI is effective with large work. Example, I think the guys, we came up with an idea because when I talked with Emmanuel, there was a time we were doing this, working on the church website and seeing how to upgrade into technology on the church system. I brought a system that can be able to segment, classify the prayers. So as the input of the prayer coming, it be able to generate you without even classify it into specific few. The thing is, how many prayer do you get a day? It's less. That's something you can be done manually. It's no need for AI. So it depends on what field. For example, you can use AI to send messages to people all the time. I can build an AI agent that can be able to send reminders to people manually, automatically, without any intervention. Like an AI can trigger every 2 o'clock, send message or maybe good morning message or motivational messages to people automatically to the WhatsApp, their phone numbers, or their WeChat now is not on the market. The API is not open source, so it cannot do. But maybe your WhatsApp, your Telegram, and your phone number, it can work. You can build an AI system for that. That's why I wanted to show you some of the agents that I've built at the end of the whole question and answer session. Then we can take a round on how these things work, some of the most important terminology we have heard. Most people have heard about AI agents, they have never seen it in action. Most people have heard that, oh, AI can do this automatically. I've never seen it working. I have a couple of projects that I can show you and see how it works. So for the old school, one thing I can say is try your best to just learn basic prompting because it comes with a whole lot of different things. The computer aspect, you're already struggling with it. Then come the whole AI aspect, oh, it's too much. So work with, I send in the 50 prompts. You can just copy and paste and then just put and paste your information and add there and just generate. So you can use pre-generated prompts and be working with. If you don't have the time to generate it for yourself, as you work on it step by step, you'll be able to improve. That's what I can say. Any more questions? Are we there?
Yes, we're here. I think people don't have any more questions. So, yeah, once again, I would just like to say thank you for this lovely presentation. It was very insightful, and I think it's something that is becoming even more and more important. And I think as important as it is today, I think in the next year or two it will be even more important, right? So I thank you so much for this presentation. Like for me, one way that I like to think about it is that like anything that is there, we are able to learn. Like no one was born with knowledge. We all had to learn, to seek out the knowledge and to learn it. Even the so-called experts today, you are an expert because you have dedicated, and been disciplined to spend maybe 10,000 hours in that field or in that sector. So it's through meetings like this, whether it's YouTube or Google or the AI itself, through learning, that's how we get to progress and equip ourselves even more and improve our skill set. So yeah, thank you so much once again, Brother Alex, for this presentation.
Before you close, can I just show the agent in process and then we can just wrap up?
Okay, sure. And also, I'm seeing there's a question saying any book on AI or prompt engineering that you would recommend.
Yes, I can send resources. I will show though.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, sure. I think, yeah, very quickly you can take us through the agent, maybe in like 2 minutes or so that we can also wrap up.
Yes, that's what I want to do.
All right, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yes, I can just show, show one of the agents from there. So this is my workflow, and basically, let me just run one agent in action. This one is automatically posting, but let me run the Telegram. This is the beauty of AI agent. I have Claude that generates me idea. I have Perplexity that do the writing. I have this one that do the imaging. So how does it work? Let me just run this one and then we can call it a day. And then maybe any other question I can be able to share. So this is my Telegram bot. Well, in this Telegram bot, 1 second. In this Telegram bot, I can tell this thing to generate me. 1 second, use my keyboard. Generate me social media post on the or maybe prompt engineering. Now, I send this information in, right? And then I can activate my workflow. So let me share the next screen there. If I activate this workflow, what's gonna happen is it's gonna take the message from there. I'm running out of credit from Claude. Let me change. Select 6. Low balance from there. Let me use GTP. So I can use GTP from here because I'm out of credit from Claude. Connect to ChatGTP, put it to 4 mini, yes. And then rerun. And then send this thing again. I'm having problem with this one, so let me switch to the next one because it'll have to take me time to do. Maybe I can work with this agent. Can send this one and say, maybe create me an image on something. So let me run this one from here, from Claude. So I can say, let me share the screen from here, from a Telegram. So I can say, generate me generate me 5 steps a rule. So prompt engineer and send it. And then when I send this information from there and then activate the workflow. So let me take you here, back to the workflow. So you see now, this thing grabs the information from here, send it to ChatGPT, generate you the images, and send back to Telegram. So it's going to generate you a 5-step prompt engineering. That's what this AI agent is responsible for. So this is going to generate you, and then from there, the image is going to come back. So you see, now the image is coming. So if I come back to Telegram from here, so generate me 5-step on prompt engineering. You see, first of all, clarify your goal. Next, provide the content. And as it's going to go and then they go to 5 steps. So the image is still generating, it's going to come up automatically from there. And I can even generate a post I can post on social media platform, maybe Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat automatically, and be able to generate from there. So you see it's generating the content asset and be able to run from there. So you see, automatically, now it tells me that 5 steps have already been generated. Automatically, I didn't need to touch it. All I need to do was to configure the entire workflow. And then this is the workflow that is running. So you see now it's completed and this is how it runs. So this is the example of the AI agent that people talk about. Like the last one. So this one is the last. This is a social media blog. And I can generate this thing and send and say, so if I activate this workflow, get back for Telegram, and we run this prompt that I wrote up there from here. Social media on prompt engineering. If I copy this one and I paste, send, get back to workflow. Now still here on clock, so that's the reason why it's generating me. My code view is out, so that's why it's. So let me try to see if I can switch to ChatGPT. Here we run it. Let's see if it works from there. Okay. Now ChatGPT is running. So now it's using Perplexity to generate the content of the work. And then when it's done, it's going to save the image, the information to this one. So this is, and afterwards, it's going to send the information to LinkedIn, and it's going to go automatic posting towards this platform. So let me show you the reaction, and then we can close up from there. So now the workflow is running. This is a typical example of AI agent. This is how AI agent works. Work for you exactly. But I think because I split the model, it has some issue that need to be configured from there. So next time, maybe I can show you more workflow and how it runs from there. But from now, I think I can say thank you for having me as your host. Okay.
Thank you, Brother Alex, for this, like I said, very insightful presentation and very important. I believe this issue of the AI agents, like I said, is very important to us, and it's something that we are coming in contact with each and every day now. So having this sharing, I think it's very helpful for all of us. So thank you once again. All right, so we have gone beyond our time. So